idea really emanated, September 11th had a huge impact, particularly people who were downtown. And my wife was half a block from the World Trade Center when the first plane hit. And everyone's reaction when you have an unthinkable tragedy, an unthinkable drama, similar, our version, I guess the closest would be whether it was Pearl Harbor but you really think about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was kind of the psychological equivalent. Obviously the damage was very different. But the first inclination is, what can I do to help? And I'd say the seeds of the film festival started by my wife, who is one of those people who has to be bringing chicken soup to the neighbor. And what we realized is that all the restaurants in Little Italy and Chinatown, the financial district, were going to go out of business. And so this is right around October of 2001. And we ended up putting together a series of, in those days we didn't really have the internet, it was really a fax machine campaign. I'll invite 10 people, have them invite 10 people, and have their 10 people invite another 10 people. And we put on a series of dinners called Dinner Downtown. And this was happening, I think, November and December. The smell was still in the air. You could see the smoke was still simmering. People were not going out for anything. I mean, you did not go out in the neighborhood. And we did probably, I think, 3 or 4 dinners with 1,000 people showing up, and Bob De Niro, who is, the unofficial mayor of New York. We went to 29 different restaurants all in the same evening, and we sent different teams of people. But I remember that when we went down early October, just ourselves to support the restaurants, we were one of 2 parties in all of Little Italy. And it was profound beyond belief. And that's where that idea really came from. And after these 3 or 4 dinners, one day my wife came home and said, Bob and I, we've always talked about doing a film festival, but there was never really any compelling reason to do it. The world's had a lot of festivals. Now there is. And we want to do a film festival, and we'd like you to help. So it was probably one of the worst ideas I'd ever heard. And I kind of have the business background saying, this makes absolutely no sense. We have no theaters, we have no films, we have no money, we have no sponsors. But knowing Bob and Jane, it was, don't even waste your time. Just say, okay, let's see if we can do this. And it was not easy. It got willed into existence. Literally no one in their right mind would ever undertake this as a matter of rationality or reason. So this was an endeavor of it's their heart. You have to get both the hearts and minds. The mind said, this isn't going to work, but the heart said, but you got to try it anyway. And that was sort of the beginning of the Tribeca Film Festival. Venues, money, films, because we put the festival on in 120 days. And the real goal was to get a film up on a screen. That would have been amazing. And it really turned around. American Express found us. We knew so little, we didn't even know what to call American Express. They're our neighbor. They called us and said, we hear you're doing a film festival, and we have to be part of it, and we'll help you build it. And that was 18 years ago. We have both great challenges. As they say, we live in interesting times. And I attribute that quote to Homer Simpson, the great philosopher, along with the Chinese wisdom. And we are facing existential crises and threats, but at the same time, it is the most hopeful, amazing time to be alive in the history of probably of the universe, at least from the humanist standpoint. But I think we just have to remember that none of this works without the human element. And so my real focus and passion is trying to bridge the technology with the culture, or what we've referred to as the techno-cultural divide. Salim got up there today, and everything is, progressing. 20 new Gutenberg moments progressing at, essentially Moore's law. The only one that's missing is human culture, which lumbers along in fits and starts and does not adhere to Moore's law of doubling every 18 months or whatever the new metric is. So I think for me, it's really how do we reconnect worldviews, values, and belief systems that will resist these kinds of changes with the technological opportunities that are unlimited. I mean, everything is, Salim mentioned, everything is either free or almost free or will be free. Our institutions are from, whether it's the 18th century, the 19th century, or the 20th century, these are 21st century challenges. And that's what I think the takeaway is here. Welcome to the 21st century.